Hi again, Year Threes. Here is your science lesson for today. Okay, I'm going to share the screen again. Here it comes. Okay, so we're doing our last lesson on marvelous magnets. I hope you've really enjoyed this unit, and I know lots of you on the Oak Academy website had a really good fun with some of the activities on there. A little bit of investigating today for you to have a go at home, and then kind of a little bit of a mini project to see if you can come up with making a game that uses magnets. Okay, so here's today's date, and the Walt is to explain that magnets attract some materials. Your steps to success: I can identify materials that are attracted to magnets, and also, I suppose, the ones that aren't. I can use the force of magnetic attraction to make a magnetic game, and I can explain how that game works. Okay, so don't worry about doing the date and waltz today. This is going to be really a making session and an investigating session today. Okay, so the first activity should be a little game that we would be playing in class. I've put the questions and some possible answers on the daily planner for you. So maybe you could play this game with somebody else in the house at the moment. So it's all about what do you know about forces and magnets. So see if you can try this challenge to show what you know. There are 6 questions about forces and magnets. And then there are 8 answers. Okay, so obviously there's going to be 2 answers which aren't true or which don't match the questions. Okay, so can you match the letter for the answer? Okay, so really we would be doing this in class, but just see if you can match the answers to the questions. 2 of the answers are trick ones. They don't match any of the questions. Okay, and see if you can find all of the answers. Okay, so magnets have a magnetic field around them that produces a pulling force on some materials. Okay, can you remember which those materials are? What does it have to have in it if it's going to be attracted to a magnet? Okay, I've got a little tiny fridge magnet here. Okay, so is this going to be attracted to my pen? Well, it's not attracted to that part of the pen. Is it going to be attracted to this part of the pen? That's made of metal. So I'm going to make a prediction that it will be attracted to it. Oh, and yes, it is. It is attracted to my pen. Can you see it's attracted there? What does that part of my pen need to have in it if that's attracted? What's that metal made from? Which particular metal is that? And I know on the Oak Academy, some of the questions were all about that. So this part of my pen needs to be, needs to be some sort of metal that attracts to magnets. So it's got to be iron or nickel or cobalt. I expect this has got some iron in it, which is stainless steel. Stainless steel is a mixture of iron and some other chemicals. So that is definitely attracted. This part, not, because that's plastic. And then I remember showing my class this. If I use my ring, which is made of gold, okay, there's no attraction there. So only some metals are attracted to magnets. This pulling force, this magnetic force, can actually go through other materials such as paper or wood. So let's have a go. Okay, so I've got a really large fridge magnet here. Okay, and I've got a piece of paper. Okay, oh look, it's Colin and Coco on their little journey. This should be up in our classrooms at the moment. So if I put my very large magnet behind my pen, oh, let's try this one here, is still, this, can you see the little heart? Is still attracted through the paper. Okay, if I'm to turn that like that, you can see it's still attracted, it's not falling off. the magnets are still working, the magnetic force is still working through the piece of paper. So have a go. If you've got some magnets at home, okay, try putting a magnet behind a piece of paper and see if something else, a paper clip if you've got one, see if it's still attracted through the piece of paper. You could also then try to see if it's attracted through something thicker than a piece of paper. And what's the thickest thing it could be attracted through? That will depend on how strong the magnet is. Okay, we've got some images there of some other magnets and where they work. So we've got a compass, fridge, vending machine, and a laptop. I wonder where the magnets are in those. So we did have a little go at using magnets last week when we were in school, compasses when we were in school last week. So the magnetic force of the whole of our planet, of the Earth, it acts as a massive magnet, and this little magnet inside a compass will be attracted to the north and south poles. Most of your fridges will be held closed by a magnet, so the doors stay closed. And this was a really interesting one. I didn't know this, that the coins in a vending machine are sorted using magnets. Wonder which coins are magnetic and which ones aren't, if they can be sorted using magnets. Maybe you could have a go at some of the coins that you might have in your house. And a laptop lid, when it's closed, a magnet tells the computer whether the lid is open or closed. Okay, I'm not going to close my laptop now because that means I'd lose all of you. So that's an interesting one as well. So magnets can be very useful. Maybe you could go on a little voyage of discovery around your house, seeing how many places you think magnets are used. Okay, so here is your main activity. You don't need to do this necessarily today. It could be a little project that you work on over the next few days, and it would be lovely to see some pictures of these. So I'd like you to try and design and create a game that uses magnetic force to attract materials. You'll have a chance to hopefully try your game out on somebody at home. There are some ideas of games that you could make, or you can have your own ideas, make up something of your own. Okay, so you could try a racing game, a fishing game, or a magnetic maze. I'm just going to put on the next screen because it gives you some ideas how you could do those. So for a racing game, how about creating a racing track? Okay, a little bit like our Coco and Colin track you could make. And then you would need to maybe have a cutout of a car with a paper clip on it. And then when you lay this flat, you would need to make your magnets underneath so that the car could go around the track. Okay, so that's one idea, cars on a racetrack. One that you often see at school fetes is a fishing game. Okay, so you use a stick or a pencil and a piece of string, and on the end you would have a magnet. Okay, and then the fish could be in a pond, so a pretend pond, or actually I've seen this in sort of little paddling pools. You have little ducks with metal hooks on them, and you have to try and fish out the fish or the ducks using the magnet. Okay, maybe if you've got a pencil or a couple of pencils and some string at home, you'll need your magnet on the end of a piece of string, and that would be your fishing rod. And then you could draw some fish, have paper clips on the fish, and try and fish them out using the magnetic attraction. Okay, the last idea on the screen there is to make a magnetic maze. So draw a maze, have a counter or something on the top that's got a paper clip in it, and underneath you would need to have your magnet, and see if you can find your way out of the maze just using the magnet. Okay, there's 3 ideas there, but you might be able to come up with something completely different. Okay, just a little magnetic project for you. Okay, you don't need to show us your design. What would be really lovely would be to see any of your finished magnetic games. Okay, and you could see how well it went. Were any of your materials too thick that the magnetic force couldn't work through? See what worked well, see what didn't work so well. But the idea is that you're just using magnets today. Okay, I hope you get on really well with that and enjoy using magnets. Okay, don't worry if you haven't got any magnets at home, you could still have a go at designing the game. Okay, thank you everybody.